Bedtime story, Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a poor woodcutter and his wife. They had 2 children, Hansel and Gretel, who were the light of their lives. However, times were tough, and food was scarce. The woodcutter struggled to make enough money to feed his family, and the wife became increasingly worried about their survival. One day, as the wife was cooking dinner, she came up with a plan. She suggested to her husband that they take the children into the forest and abandon them, so that they wouldn't have to worry about feeding them anymore. The woodcutter was hesitant at first, but his wife was insistent, so they decided to go ahead with the plan. The next morning, the couple took Hansel and Gretel into the forest and left them there. They promised the children that they would return for them the next day, but as soon as they left, the couple changed their minds and decided to leave the children in the forest for good. Days went by and Hansel and Gretel were lost in the forest. They wandered around, looking for a way out, but to no avail. They were cold, hungry, and scared, and they had no idea what to do. One day, they stumbled upon a house made of gingerbread, with icing for the roof and candies for the windows. The children were ecstatic, and they eagerly ate some of the gingerbread. But as soon as they finished, they heard a voice. It was the voice of a wicked witch who had built the gingerbread house as a trap for unsuspecting children. The witch captured Hansel and locked him in a cage, hoping to fatten him up so that she could eat him. Meanwhile, Gretel was forced to do all the chores around the house. But Gretel was a clever girl, and she came up with a plan to save her brother. One day, when the witch wasn't looking, Gretel grabbed a stick and managed to push her into the oven. She then freed Hansel from his cage, and the 2 of them escaped the witch's house. They retraced their steps, following the trail of breadcrumbs that Hansel had dropped along the way. Finally, after many days of wandering, Hansel and Gretel found their way back home. They were greeted with open arms by their parents, who were overjoyed to see that they were safe and sound. From that day forward, the family lived happily ever after, and they never again had to worry about going hungry. And that's the story of Hansel and Gretel, a tale of courage, cleverness, and the power of love and family.